Hi, it's JP Murray. Welcome to a live edition of the Association Playbook with my colleague and superstar at the Murray Company, Jordan Weiss.
Thanks for having me.
You bet. Good to be back on the show here.
Always in the new studios, looking nice.
It's been a long time. You know, we got canceled, but we got put back on the air, and now we're in syndication. It's going well. Hey, I want to talk to you guys a little bit today, Jordan and I together, about managing the promotion. Managing the promotion within the company, but also managing clients externally, and what that different role has meant to Jordan. I'll give you a little bit of context. So when we were involved in a sales project, which is where a lot of our work is, we might be selling membership or sponsorships for an association. And we do it with a Salesforce administrator that handles our data, our email marketing. We will have sales support, setting up the calls, looking at the prospects to see what they might be interested in. That is what Jordan used to be in charge of with clients. And now he is a client manager where he's managing the closing and the interaction with the client on a daily basis. So that transition, when we address it with three people, a three-person team on your account, it's really important. The reason why we promoted you is because you're doing a great job on the sales support side, and we want to give you an opportunity. Tell me about what the promotion has been and the new responsibilities have been like within the Murray Company. Tell me how that's changed for you.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think the biggest change so far has mostly been the actual management side of that job title, rather than a more task-oriented sales associate role where you're kind of just getting a list to run through, and while you're still qualifying those leads, it's a little bit less time consuming thought-wise than the actual management role. And I think when you're not doing it, it seems a little bit easier than when it's actually your job. And it's been a good learning experience a couple months into it here.
So it's more strategic, right?
Mm-hmm,
a more thoughtful process than just taking the list.
Exactly.
Yeah. So now you've gone from a support role to actually interacting with clients. You're the point of contact for a number of our high-profile folks, and one of our oldest clients we've ever had in terms of longevity. What's that been like to be at the forefront of those relationships?
Yeah, it's a little bit more helpful, I think, to be honest, to be not in constant communication with them, but across all the accounts. I think it's really nice to not be kind of behind the scenes and throw out maybe a random question here and there, rather than on a weekly basis. You're communicating with these people, and I think it's just helpful for both parties.
Yeah.
When that's the case, since we don't get to see each other every day, it just makes everything a little bit easier.
So tell me how you do it. Tell me about how the regularity of those communications with clients. How does it work for you?
Yeah. I think I certainly don't have an issue. If I have questions, I'll even just give them a call right there. I'll shoot them an email if I think if they have a conference going on or something like that. But I never have an issue just giving someone a call, and I don't think they have issues with that either. I think they probably think it's better that I do that than just guess on different things and mess something up. So I think that's probably pretty helpful.
And then you also have weekly reports.
Correct.
Right, so then that goes out. Tell them about that.
So
how that works.
So the weekly reports go out every Friday. You guys are tagged in that, and certain specified folks at the association are also tagged in that. That has activities, notes from calls, all that stuff is in there. For some clients, that's on a bi-weekly basis. For most of them, it's on a weekly basis.
And then you include the pipeline too, right?
And the pipeline's on there as well. Depending on the week, sometimes there will be an Excel doc. That's the weekly report is where everything goes, and sometimes that's what starts a conversation for the Monday or something. They'll see the report and say, hey, can we
Can we
hop
talk
on the phone and talk about this stuff?
You know, and I think this is really important for any sales operation, right? Is the importance of the regular communications with the client. Whether you're an inside sales team, you know, if you're within the association and making calls, you should be pushing out to your stakeholders internally what's happening, you know, what we're hearing in the field. Here's a copy of all the notes from our phone conversations. Here's the pipeline, and here's where people are in it. God, that's so critical. We do it because people pay us, right? That's a regular part of the cadence that we have with our clients, and we also have action items in there, right? You'll say, "Hey, I need the approval on that email copy."
I was
or
going to
whatever
say that's
it
for
is.
us and for them as well.
Yeah,
too.
exactly.
Items.
And we also do them on Friday, right?
Yeah.
That makes you work on Friday.
Yeah.
You know, so that makes you work on Friday before the college football season kicks in, and you're gonna watch your games on Saturday, right?
Of course.
So anything else on the promotion side that you've had to handle or that's been different for you that you'd like to tell the audience about?
Yeah, I mean, I think continuing through the sales cycle is also helpful through the learning process. You know, in the sales associate role, while it's beneficial to start there and make those calls, you kind of stops there.
Yeah.
So you're kind of learning the front end of things, but not the rest of the sales cycle. So continuing to develop the relationships with these different companies and people within the companies, I've really enjoyed it, and I think it's really helpful to the development of a salesperson in general.
So you've got the closing part too.
Exactly.
And there's probably more money involved in that too.
Yeah, and then for some of our clients, you know, it's maintaining, you know, those. You know, if it's a sponsorship, those folks might be back too. So, you know, checking in with them, seeing how the conference went, if, you know, we missed something, things like that is really.
So you're developing that long-term relationship. Good deal. So since we promoted it this way, let's talk about college football. Second week of the top 4 came out. What's your assessment so far?
Yeah. Hey.
And by the way, and he knows where I went to school. So,
yeah,
no bias here.
I think everyone's a little bit salty about the Oklahoma 4 spot behind Miami. I was most happy to see Penn State jump USC into the top 10 there. So that's looking pretty good. I think we're banking on a couple of teams losing here, but still got a shot.
Yeah. So here's my perspective on it, and you know. Since I'm connected with a lot of Oklahoma people, they're all been out of shape that they're 4th. And I'm like, hey man, settle down. We got 3 to 4 weeks of games, a month of football to go. So a lot can happen, as we saw last weekend. But there are definitely teams that are knocking on the door. How are we going to deal with Wisconsin? Wisconsin's undefeated. Big Ten. I don't see if they run the table that they're going to be on the outside looking in. They're going to take somebody's
spot. They'll get in.
Yeah,
they'll get in if they win out. I think if they drop one and then drop one before the Big Ten championship game and then lose in the Big Ten championship, they're toast. I don't think they can even survive one.
And so, can an SEC team with 1 loss or with 2 losses get in?
The only SEC team that I could see that happening for is Alabama, because that's just what happens for Alabama.
That's what happens for Alabama. To be continued, ladies and gentlemen. Hope this was helpful to tell you about how we manage accounts, but more importantly, the real perspective from an up-and-comer in the space about how they're managing the promotion and new responsibilities. Good job, Jordan. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for watching the Association Playbook today. More to come. Bye-bye.